It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. It is October the 14th. The banks are closed today. Don't even go.
Oh, no?
Well, it's Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Got all these.
It's whatever day it is. You're not getting any banking done. I'm just giving everyone a break right now. You're not going to make that deposit.
Well, the one you choose to celebrate tells us exactly how you're going to vote here in a few weeks. I bet.
Wow. I guess that would be true. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. I'm exhausted. I had so much fun. I'm just feeling. I'm feeling it. I'm on a tear right now.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that nap. All right, let's get to it.
An all-nighter?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty close. Friends in town. These things happen.
I know it.
Whew, more on that later because right now it's time for your top 5 at 6 to kick off the midweek of October. Number 5. NHL 25, the video game from EA Sports.
Yeah.
Now that the regular season is underway, they fire up all the simulations. They've got every bit of data. They got the algorithms. They got the nerdy guys in there putting in the inputs and the outputs and the info. They've concluded what the playoff picture in this year's NHL postseason will be, and they have decided that the finals will feature the New York Rangers against the Edmonton Oilers, and the Rangers will win in 7 over Edmonton. We don't even have to watch hockey anymore.
Wow. Edmonton off to an 0-3 start, of course, this season.
Hey, that's, listen.
Nowhere to go but up, I guess.
I would imagine not. I'm looking at their playoff simulation, the entire bracket, and over in the West, you have the Minnesota Wild not in the playoffs. Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, it just
feels like a favor for everybody who doesn't have Bally's. Like you just know what's going on.
Just listen. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat.
I don't want to talk wild hockey. 2 overtime losses, and you lose Spurgeon and Eck. I mean, come on, what the F and F?
But you don't need a nose to play hockey. Come on. Just put a tissue up there and get back on the ice.
Exactly.
When we last were here, of course, we were sitting on the best record in the league on Friday's show. And now, 1-0 and 2 overtime losses. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. Venus Aerospace. Get used to that name. It's a company that has a new jet called the Stargazer. Oh, it's not just any jet. It's a hypersonic jet. This is an airplane for commercial aviation that will travel 3,600 miles per hour.
All right.
You can get from New York to London in less than an hour. You can get from London to New York in an hour against the wind.
All right. Boeing's not building this, right?
No. Right. God, no. This is, let's see, we're 20 years since Concorde. And does anyone need to go 6 times the speed of sound to get to London in an hour? No one I know. No, I don't care. This thing could fly safely for 30 years. I'm not getting on it.
That's going to be super affordable, too.
Well, clearly. This bad boy takes off, and then it takes off with jet engines, and when it gets to altitude, which is high enough to see the curvature of the Earth, then the rockets kick in.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So make plans for that. The Stargazer, they will be testing this jet in 2025.
I wonder if they have day flights to Chicago. That would be nice.
I think by the time it reaches, forget. Why am I even answering this question?
We'll have to go around the world once to get to Chicago,
Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. If you got bad news to share, just stinking share it. Don't sugarcoat it. Do not sugarcoat it. A study was talking all about the gentle approach to sharing bad news, completely overrated. Social scientists recommend strongly not doing that. You need to give just a simple, hey, we need to talk, or hey, I've got to share some difficult news, and then get to it. I don't think it's working. I want to break up. I want a divorce. You're out of money. Whatever the bad news is, get it on the table. And this is, by the way, I'm the worst because that's how I want to hear bad news. I don't want any sugarcoating. I mean, just, hey, Steve, boom, 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 straight up. But then on the opposite side of that, when I'm giving someone bad news, I really have to remind myself because I want to try to make it right. I just want to buffer it. I want to ease in, and I'm such a hypocrite where that's concerned. I have a really hard time just coming straight out and saying, "Hey, I don't like you anymore."
I tried all the different ways to deliver bad news, and they all suck. None of them are good. No one ever reacts like, "Oh, that's the way." I just told people just want to hear the truth, and they want to hear it quick. Just tear the bad Band-Aid off. And then you tell them like that, and they still carry on. So I guess it depends what the news is. Whatever.
You're right. And I got to get better at that. So here it is. Brian, I don't like you.
Oh, well, finally. You were right, Tony. Damn it.
Told ya.
No, he really does. He would have said something if he doesn't. But.
No, not me. I'll just sit there and stew. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6, the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA Finals. It is now 1 game apiece because yesterday the New York Liberty shut down what looked like it was going to be another spectacular comeback. The Liberty got up early, 17-point lead in the second quarter. The Lynx come flying back. It's a 2-point game in the fourth, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh my God, we're going to steal this game, come home and win this bad boy. But no, the Liberty woke up and finished the game with 12 straight points. So we got ourselves a real ball club now. I mean, a real series now. Game 3 coming up in Minnesota Wednesday night at the Target Center.
Best of 3?
What's that?
Best of 3?
5, I believe.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
No, it's not over on Wednesday. Sorry.
All right.
Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. We'll wait until I say good morning, Zimmerman.
Oh, yeah. Good. What do they have up there? The Wild West Days. It's your first chance. I think they have it in May usually up there. And this is what I know about it. It's your first chance to get really good, greasy food of the year. Like good, fair food.
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's sometime in May. I don't know. Hardee's. I was up at Trucker Fest over the weekend, so I was driving back and forth to the Mille Lacs County Fairgrounds. Hardee's 3 times this weekend.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I might. I need to poop so bad.
Yeah, man.
It's just nothing's moving.
Well, that's a Herculean effort,
right
my
there.
man.
All right.
And number 1 on your top 5 at 6, the High Court in England has ruled using the word bald against a man, as in, you stupid, bold C word, which is the case in question, could be considered sexual harassment.
Right.
An electrician named Tony Finn brought a case. He said, I've been sexually harassed by my boss. It was during an argument back in 2019. The company he works for is called the British Bung Company, B-U-N-G.
No.
So clearly sexual harassment is going to just be a part of life. If you work for a company with bung in the word,
yeah.
I mean, come on. He said the comments were made about his baldness repeatedly, including, as I mentioned, a stupid, bold C word. I can't even say that on the air.
No.
A 3-person employment tribunal panel said that remark crossed a line and said they dismissed the argument that the comment was not sexist because women can also be bald. So basically, hey, bald guys, you win, I guess. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's weird, man. There's a lot going on in that story.
Yeah. Oh, hey, man. Sorry about the hair, and sorry about your central nervous system. I'm taking this all the way to Supreme Court, isn't I? I was over there at the Bung Company, and my son, I got a shiny palate. I'll admit my pop, and you didn't have to say that. It made me upset, and I got my wires crossed. I could have electrocuted someone. Dude, seriously.
I know it. Well, so this means I can't rub their head to try and see into the future anymore?
I guess
no
not.
more of that.
Or, put an earring on the guy and call him Mr. Clean, and let's just get back to work. Unbelievable. So it's Monday morning. The weekend is behind. It might not be the first thing you think of, but around here on Mondays, we think about all the leftovers. We have some Monday morning leftovers. I'll explain. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, October the 14th. Every Monday, we get together in the morning before the show, and we're like, oh, man, we didn't get to that one last week. We didn't get to this one last week. There's always stories laying around. We always have what we call leftovers. And so now we're going to start a new tradition. Monday morning leftovers. Bunch of headlines that we didn't get to last week we think you would like to hear about. And we're going to let you, the listeners, decide which ones we spend a few minutes with. So this is how it's going to work. I'm just going to read headlines. I'm going to give a headline, and then if you think that's a headline you want to hear more about, then I'm going to give you a word to text to 651-989-ROCK, the KQ talk and text line. Everybody will be able to text in one word. That will give us the information required, and then we will determine which of these stories at 6:50 we're going to share with you. Does that make sense?
Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
And feel free to let me know what you guys think as well, and then I'll ignore it. But I welcome your input. Number one. Okay, here's how this works. Number one. Here's a story that we may get to at 6:50. The coolest thing made in Minnesota. We've talked about this a few times. Mm-hmm. We have a winner. Now, if you want to hear that story, text the word "cool" to 651-989-ROCK. That doesn't? No one's eyebrows are even waggling. I don't think we care, but you might care if you're out there listening.
I made
text
a koozie out of an old flannel shirt this weekend.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
How about this? Bringing back the woolly mammoth.
What was so great about the woolly mammoth in the first place?
I don't know.
I don't want woolly mammoths. I'd like to pass on this one.
Okay, well, good to know, Ryder. Yeah. But if anybody listening wants, then text the word mammoth. Yeah. Text mammoth, and then you'll get the woolly mammoth story. Okay, how about this one? 23% of people with iPhones claim they would never date an Android user. If you need to hear that story, text the word phone to the KQ Talk and text line.
Politics not dividing you enough.
As somebody who comes from a divided household, I am kind of interested in this one.
Yeah. We're a divided morning show. Let me put it that. It's already that first time I ever got a text from Ryder, I was like, green.
Right. The green text.
Android.
That comes in a half hour after she texts it. The next day.
Man. Crossing the streams. How about this? Every time the Sunday Night Football theme is aired, Carrie Underwood makes a fortune. You won't believe the reports about Carrie Underwood's pay. If you want to hear that story, text the word football. Football.
This is not about her legs?
No, it's not about her legs.
Okay.
Boy, she really does like her legs.
The legs are the thing.
She likes to show those bad boys off.
I feel like she overflexes during the open, but that's all right. I'm cool with it.
She's married to a hockey player.
Yeah.
And fun fact, People Magazine first reported that Carrie Underwood was dating a Nashville Predator 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's
That's a hockey player, right?
That's a hockey player.
Okay.
And whose name escapes me, but he was really good. And and they were seen at a coffee shop in town, is the report. I'm the one who saw them.
Okay.
And I mentioned it to a guy. I mentioned it to a guy who wrote for a local free weekly in Nashville.
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I said, "You just missed." Carrie Underwood was in with, I can't even think of the guy's name, and he's like, "Really?" He goes, "Oh, I'm a stringer for People. I'm going to put that in there," and it made the magazine. And the whole time I thought, hey, man, all right, that's my association with Carrie Underwood.
You're such a gossip.
Just me, I just can't keep my mouth shut. How about this? The Piss Bandit strikes again. The Piss Bandit.
Yes.
We're all
mad that
down.
we missed the update on the Piss Bandit.
So you saw my tweet over the weekend then.
Text in the word bandit if you want to hear that one.
Right.
I'm digging that one.
Mike Fisher, by the way, is the Predator.
God, of course. Thank you, Mike Fisher. Jeez. Only saw a guy play hockey 9,000 times. Or 12. People who like shopping get more pleasure from shopping than sex. That's a story for the ages. Hit shopping as your keyword to the text line. How about this? There are 5 subtle signs that you are a good lover, that you are good in bed, you are good in the chambre. And if you want to hear what those are, text the word bed to 651-989-ROCK. Calluses?
I don't know. Is that one of them?
How'd you get calluses on that thing? On your hands. I'm sorry. We also have a little bit of audio if you want to hear this. We all know people from Philadelphia they've got crosses to bear. They're from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I mean, they walk through. It's just a tough lot in life. But after the Phillies were eliminated from the playoffs, one fan truly stepped away. They slipped the surly bonds of reality with their misery, and we can play that for you. If you want to hear that story, you text the word fan to 651-989-ROCK. rock. This is pretty fascinating. This is a listener interest dictated radio. But these are all funny stories. They're good stories, and we're just trying to open it up and let you guys tell us what you're interested in. Tony, does any of this strike? I mean, Piss Bandit. Clearly, you got that.
Yeah, I do like a good urine story. But I like the mammoth thing. I was obsessed with dinosaurs and cave people and prehistoric things.
You'd like to see that happen, wouldn't you? Bring the mammoth back. I mean, it'd be kind of curious. I bet they smell.
They look soft.
Yes.
I'd like to pet a mammoth.
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Oh, my God. All right, well, we're going to get back around to this at about 6:50. It'll be interesting to hear what the listeners are interested in. Before history, I'm going to mention, I said this last week on the show a couple times. I saw a band last night at the Fine Line called Kaiser's Orchestra, Norwegian band.
Right.
All their songs are in Norwegian. Okay. I didn't understand a word the guy said, but they speak great English, so in between songs, as they're addressing the audience. Long story short, I saw this band 20 years ago at a festival in Europe, and I've spent 20 years going, I think that's the best band I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And for 20 years, I've just had that memory, and then I've been wondering, was I just stoned or was I drunk? There's no way they're that good.
Yeah.
And I saw them last night, and I was right. They're the best band I've ever seen.
Okay.
I kid you not.
Wow, that's high praise.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's very overstimulated and sleep deprived this morning, but he's very excited.
Worth every... This band's coming back to Minneapolis a year from now. They're going to be back in October of next year, and I'm going to spend the next 12 months making damn sure everybody that I've ever met goes to see this band.
Is anyone else terrified by that notion that he's going to be bothering us for an entire year? Can I just watch him on YouTube and get the same experience?
No. You can watch them on YouTube, but you're not going to get the same experience. Anybody who went there, you'll bump into somebody over the next 12 months and be like, man, I saw this crazy Norwegian band. And you'll go, again, another person? Trust me, it was amazing.
What if I hooked up my subwoofer?
You have a subwoofer?
Well,
I've been here almost 2 years. I'm just now hearing about this.
Well,
just one.
Right now, I just put my feet on it, but as soon as I figure out how to hook it Bluetooth up to my soundbar.
They'll be talking about that show for years. It was a historic night in the Twin Cities. Speaking of history, let's look back.
Now it's time to learn.
Wow, it sure is. On this day, October 14th, 1970, New York Jets quarterback Joe Namath was not on the football field. He was on the silver screen. CC and Company, his big movie debut.
Yes.
He was a motorcycle rider. CC Rider. That was his name, of course. Yeah, he's grappling with a rival bike gang after rescuing a damsel in distress. Really bad movie. I mean, the critics were not kind to Broadway Joe, but come on, he's the quarterback for the Jets. He's in the movies. He's brought his Joe Namath. Give him a break.
Here's what I remember about that movie. As I recall, it starts with him pulling his hog up into a front of a grocery store, convenience store of some sort. He walks in and he makes a sandwich. He opens up a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
He goes over, puts some meat in there.
Sounds familiar.
And then eats it and walks out of the store. And I thought, man, that is so cool.
That rebel.
Yeah.
The critics, as I said, were not happy about it. They called it a laughable compendium of chopper cliches.
Yeah.
And someone said this was written 5 seconds after Easy Rider became the #1 box office smash all over the world. Broadway Joe is sacked in his first starring role, screamed the New York Times. On this day in the year 2000, there was a football game. San Jose State hosting UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso.
All right.
Okay, a kickoff coverage. A player for San Jose State named Neil Perry in the rundown field had a teammate actually rolled up into him as they hit the scrum. Severely broken leg, like really bad.
Yeah.
Like 9 days later, his leg was amputated.
Holy God
Neil
almighty.
Perry lost his leg at San Jose State. It was 9 days, but they kind of knew the nerve damage was so severe. They're like, we're probably not going to be able to save this kid's leg. 3 years later, 25 surgeries later, he returned and played one play on a prosthetic leg in a San Jose State football game.
Oh, well, there you go.
He is now a football coach, and he's a motivational speaker. I've never heard of him, but I just want to say, Neil, dude, hang in there, bro.
Yeah. They talked about that with Teddy Bridgewater, that it was that severe that they were darn near amputation.
That's exactly right. I do remember that. On this day in 2002, the Sharpie incident. Monday Night Football, Niners over Seahawks, but Terrell Owens reeled in the go-ahead fourth quarter touchdown, And after scoring a touchdown, he pulled a Sharpie from his sock, autographed the football, and then handed it to a guy standing on the sidelines. Happened to be his own financial advisor, Greg Eastman.
Niners.
No NFL player had ever celebrated in such a staged, over-the-top manner.
Outrageous.
The purists were outraged. Seattle coach Mike Holmgren said after the game, a dishonor to anyone who has ever played football. That's how he described it. Mike Clutch My Pearls Holmgren must be in a straitjacket when he watches a wide receiver now like bowl. His teammates line up like bowling pins and he knocks them down. The celebrations now make a Sharpie look so quaint.
He can't see the TV over his big fat gut.
Holmgren's head explodes like he's in the movie Scanners every time he watches an NFL game now.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Bad company getting your Monday morning up and running right there. It is October the 14th, which means, what does that mean? It means, I don't know.
The Ides of October.
Yes, tomorrow, the Ides of October. No, there's something. I'm going to come back around to it. Sorry to do that to you guys. I'm just like, wait a minute. Something big happened on this day. Something
feels like
historically.
History.
No, it wasn't, not that. We already did that. No, there's something else. I'm like, wait a minute. It'll come back to me. Sorry.
That band you saw last night?
That was the 13th.
All right.
Oh, October 14, 2024. I sat around and thought about the gig I saw last night. That's exactly right.
That's what it was.
Great to be with you on a Monday morning, suffice to say, if nothing else. By the way, Iron Maiden's at the XL Energy Center on October 22nd. You want to get tickets? Go to 92KQRS.com. How about that? Oh, and speaking of tickets, at 7:50, we're going to give away some Iron Maiden tickets.
Hell yeah, we are.
I see a toaster in the room. Just FYI.
Plugging it in right now.
There's a toaster later in the day. Later this hour, we're going to be making some toast. But right now, we got to get back to the Monday morning leftovers. Thank you to everybody who voted. This is the first time we're doing this.
Wait, somebody voted?
We threw out. We got a ton of text messages.
All
people
right.
voting for the Monday morning leftover stories we missed last week. Which ones do you want to hear about? And not only do we have the results, we've got the percentage of votes as far as where we're going. We're going to give you the top three right now. Number 3 on this list, people voted in the 5 signs. The 5 signs, subtle signs, that suggest you're probably a really good lover. Really good in the sack. Okay? Let's get to it. Number 1 is you're empathetic. If you pay attention to other people's feelings and needs in general, you probably do the same in bed.
All right. I was quick. I'm out.
You're out? Okay.
Right at number 1, too.
I'm sitting up straight in my chair now. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
She can fake an orgasm. I can fake being empathetic, I guess.
Sure. It's all about how sincerely you can fake stuff.
It's sexy time.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Don't say that again. Just no matter what you do, don't say that again.
It's sexy time.
Oh, you did it. There it is. Oh, well.
Just don't listen.
Number 2 on the list, you're a good kisser.
Well, just ask my pillow.
Yeah. Some people are naturally good. Some people can learn how to be. If you're not a good kisser, studies suggest you're probably not great at all the other stuff either.
Well,
it's a good indicator.
And it does depend on some people. You know, you've had that relationship where you're like, this person rocks. And then you get to the kiss and you're like, well, but we're not going to make it.
You know, that's really true. It's astounding how different the kiss can be.
Yeah.
Early days. Yeah. You're like, oh, this was going so well.
That's what I thought. And then she came in. She was just a pecker. She just kind of pecked, you know. I'm like, no, we're not. We're just bumping noses. What are we doing here?
Wow. I was with a woman one time who just completely opened her mouth and froze. That was it.
All right, hold that. I'm going to move my body around here.
Wow.
Weird.
Freeze.
That is weird.
Let's try something else here.
I can. Yeah, that's funny. That's a real. The moments you're with someone, and again, now for me, I got to go back a long ways. But yeah, a bad kiss is just like, it's just crushing.
It's a deal breaker.
Yeah, it really is. Number 3 is you're spontaneous. If you don't get stuck in the habit of doing the same thing all the time, that's very good. Being spontaneous, willing to try new things in life, makes you much better in bed.
Yeah.
Okay,
sometimes I just won't even show up.
Or as I call it, ADHD. So I'm good. I'm perfectly. I mean, I'm thinking of something else already right now.
Right, exactly.
Number 4, you're confident. Confidence is, in fact, sexy. Doesn't necessarily mean you're confident in bed, but it carries over. If you're confident in life, if you've got a good sense about yourself, and then finally. Watch this one. You're good with animals.
Hello.
More specifically, petting them. Just not the animals are not in the bed.
Oh,
no.
Right.
Stop. Don't even go down that way. Some people, it says some people get a little too rough with cats and dogs because they don't pay attention to what the animals actually like. Oh boy, that's a good indicator that they won't pay attention to what you like as well. So basically, here it comes down to, if you're with someone that's empathetic, a really good kisser, they're spontaneous, they're confident, and they know how to treat your dog and or cat, then by God, take your clothes off and hop in the sack with that person.
Get your belly rubbed.
It's sexy time.
I tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, guys. 5 for 5. I wish I could make love to myself.
Feel free.
Wait a minute. I can. Here's number 2. We mentioned this. All you need to hear is 2 words. And, of course, the text came flying in. Let's have it. Piss bandit.
Oh, yeah.
Piss bandit.
Yes.
This is a recent story that has got a 6-year. They just crossed the 6-year mark of an uncaptured piss bandit tormenting homeowners in Pasadena, California.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Pasadena, you got to have some cash to live in some of the neighborhoods in Pasadena. It's very upscale. And in one of the more upscale neighborhoods, a dude has been coming out at night. He has a mask, he wears latex gloves, and he regularly leaves bottles of urine around the neighborhood. He arranges them on a utility box and then vanishes into the night. He puts them throughout utility boxes. Like, you'll wake up, you're walking the dog in the morning, and you look at that light pole and you see that box and you're like, huh. Or you look at the utilities, the box on your house, and what is that jar? Oh, yeah. It's soda bottles, juice cartons, and sometimes gallon jugs filled with yellow liquid. And there's crude drawings accompanying notes that say human urine. And sometimes he'll write HIV positive.
Hey, mister, that's not funny.
Multiple times a week, this guy has been striking for 6 years.
All right, dude, move on to something else. He's like a Kinky Banksy. Yeah, that's just, all right.
Kinky
jokes.
Banksy. That's a good band name.
Kinky Banksy. What? Yeah, move on. I mean, all right. So good for you.
There's the long investigation into this mysterious figure. It's been described as a tug of war between the neighborhood and this guy. Two gentlemen want to make a movie. Like, they see him as almost like a weird, he's a vigilante artist like Robin Hood. They're trying to make a documentary, right. And they've put the word out, like, please contact us. We'll see. We won't bust you. Yeah, we just want to know what's going on. He has not responded to any of their pleas. He's ignoring their attempts to communicate. They've set up cameras, and this guy steals them. He finds the hidden cameras every time.
Oh, wow.
It's a dedication to craft that really has no equal.
I mean, it's let this be a lesson to this generation that you can make a difference. I'm just thinking of all those truckers out there whipping their urine bombs into the median.
Yeah.
Sure.
Artists on the move.
One of the filmmakers said his dedication to his craft is what has intrigued us. We want to know why, but we've realized he doesn't want to tell us why. And then finally summed it up with, sometimes you just have to let an artist pee.
I like the neighbor that threatened, if I catch you leaving your piss here, I'll make you drink every last drop. Oh,
this is,
we got in the neighborhood.
How can this guy elude capture for 6 years? This is why they make BB guns, first of all. Right? I mean, wouldn't you, if this was happening in your neighborhood, wouldn't you just get up on your roof, lay down, stay low, and just pull a few all-nighters and just wait?
Yeah, but rich people don't do that.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah. This wouldn't happen in our neighborhood. You're right. We'd be out there in the duck blind all night waiting for them.
Fantastic. All right. Well, here is the listener-voted #1 story that you wanted us to get to. The coolest thing made in Minnesota. We talked about this several times. The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce launched this competition. People were voting online for months. And the winner, Scotch tape from 3M.
Wow.
It's officially the coolest thing made in Minnesota. It beat out that Action Manufacturing's Action Track chair, which I thought was going to be. I thought that would hands down do it.
That was my vote. Yeah.
The Red Wing shoe, Beckman boot, and then some sort of floating island nonsense in an aquarium or something. Could never even have made sense of it. But pretty incredible to think Scotch tape really just captures the imagination still after all these years. I can tell you this: if you went to my house right now, right around the corner, there's probably 6 rolls of Scotch tape in the house.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
You just buy a big, but you're always going to need it. You never know why, but there's just always Scotch tape.
Yep. And damn that person in the household that doesn't like, where you pull it out and you rip it off and they let it go back onto the roll and you've got to sit there with your fingernail and try and peel it off.
That's really, really, really
first world problem.
That's akin to leaving the grocery cart, the shopping cart in the, not taking it back to the place. You just leave it by your car. Those are the same people. That's the people who drink they take the jug of milk out of the fridge, drain it, put it back in, put the empty container back in the fridge. Come on.
You ever wrap anybody in Scotch tape that passed out at a party? I had somebody do that one time. Wrapped them in
whole
Scotch
body?
tape. Yeah, the whole body. Sat there and wrapped them up. I wasn't involved in it. It was one of my daughter's deals. And I said, how'd it turn out when they woke up? Said he just stood up and stretched his arms out.
Should have gone for a different kind of tape there.
I was
you really wanted that joke to hit.
Man. Use the electric tape.
Oh, you know what? And it's funny. We talked about the subtle signs you might be better than average in the sack, and I left one out. If you're willing to be covered in Scotch tape, if you're willing to be taped bound with Scotch tape, then you're probably a great lover.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that. Well, thanks for being a part of that, guys. I like the Monday morning leftovers.
Feels good.
And I'm just going to throw this one out there. I thought we were going to be discussing Tony's woolly mammoth. But,
I was hoping. Yeah.
Maybe another day.
Got some votes.
There is a company. You know what? Screw it. We might be having a woolly mammoth walking the earth by 2028. That's all you need to know. It's over. We've just decided we can't save the planet, so let's bring back extinct animals that will kill us.
Hey, imagine the methane those things produce, for God's sake.
Oh, my God. That's just absolutely
a woolly
insane.
mammoth fart? Oh.
We've just think of all the people who will you'll wake up, you'll turn on the morning news, you're having coffee, you're listening to the KQ morning show, whatever it is, and you're like, there's a woolly mammoth, I'm just going back to bed. that's gonna be people will use that as an excuse not to go to work. Trust me, call in. Sorry, did you see the woolly mammoth thing? Yeah, I can't make it in today. What's the weirdest excuse you've ever used to get out of work? Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. I made it to work today. What's your excuse?
Right.
We've had so many opportunities to call in over the years, looking for great, bizarre excuses to take a sick day. If you got one you want to share, if you think you're up to snuff, 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. Let us know your favorite or the best or the worst one you've ever used or heard about. Yeah. And if you're in Shakopee, well then, by God, I just want to say good morning. I'm going to let everybody from, you know what, tell them Steve said take the day off today. Yeah. If you're in Shakopee, first of all, good morning. Secondly, take the day off. Say the KQ said to.
Yeah, just go out and check out the colors down there. Go down to the river and just check out what is that? Something landing down there? No, I actually went over there. Something happened there a long time ago. Something landing.
Go to Valley Fair.
Go to Valley Fair.
Go to Valley Fair. Yeah. Good morning, Shakopee. Good morning. On the KQRS Facebook page, we also have some pretty good excuses. Although David wrote in, I drank too much alcohol and only had 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, you're looking at the guy right here. You're hearing my voice. I'm here. That's not an excuse. You chose to drink and go see a band and stay up late. You have to go to work.
I mean, that's rock and roll. That's cool. I stayed up late to go to Scream Town with my daughter, my 30-year-old daughter.
Oh, really?
Good God. What was I doing out there? There was a lot of screaming going. No, it was really a good time, but yeah, there are some things that, why don't you go and tell me all about it? I love this one from Brenda on the KQ Facebook page. Someone once told us his knives fell off the wall and hit his alarm clock and shut it off.
What?
The knife, you know how you have all your knives up on the wall?
Oh, sure. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I do remember a gal that worked in our office here many, many years ago said she couldn't come in because she was taking paternity leave for her, or is it maternity leave? For her puppy. She got a new puppy.
Come on.
She goes, I can't leave him at home alone. He panics. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Okay. Alan on the Facebook page wrote, when I was 17, I told my boss I had to clap. Yeah.
I mean, smart if it works. There's not going to be any follow-up.
What are you, a prostitute? Get your ass to work.
A coworker said, Aaron wrote, a coworker said, I think my uncle died, and I think I'm a pallbearer.
Well, I want to confirm that.
I think is just remove that. My uncle died, I'm a pallbearer. Okay, I think. He's overthinking.
How about the employee that's honest and then comes back with a lie? Here, Kevin writes on her coworker was at work but asked if she could go home because the John Wayne movie True Grit was on TV that night and she really wanted to see it. Boss said no. So a little while later, she told him she was feeling sick and needed to go home.
Nice. Too much information. Just go straight to sick.
Straight to sick.
Tony, 651-989 Rock is the KQ Talking text line. Who's on the horn?
Charlie from Maple Grove didn't want to go into work.
Charlie, good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, sir. First things first. Give me your favorite band.
Kiss.
Kiss. And give me your favorite team, any sport.
The New York Yankees.
Wow, we've all got crosses to bear. Charlie, give me your, what's your work excuse, brother?
Okay, one time I really wanted a night off to go out and party with my friends. I was like, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And I made up a story that my father had a heart attack. And he was in the hospital. I had to go. So being a young kid, my boss got suspicious. He calls my house, and guess who answers the phone?
Sure.
Dad.
Damn it.
It's a miracle.
Yep. So I was nailed. I was busted.
Yeah. And Dad, did he fess up? Did the boss tell Dad what was happening? Did you get it from Dad when you got home, too?
Oh, he did. And my dad, when I got home, he told me what had happened. And he said, you probably don't have a job left. He said, but next time you're going to pull something like that, let me in on it so I can play along.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Fair enough. That would have been worth its weight in gold if your dad's on the phone going, hello? Charlie, thanks for the call, brother. We appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good one.
See ya. Sick day excuses. Career Builder has a few good ones. These are legit excuses. One gentleman claimed his tires went flat because of the ozone.
Well, I mean, we've
believable.
Got to do something about that hole in the ozone creating holes in our tires.
Man, you can't really get away with that anymore since they fixed it.
Damn it. They put a plug in it, I think, just like they do with a hole in your tire.
That's exactly right.
Those plugs. I had a guy when I was working construction down in Florida. He was kind of a weird dude. I remember the foreman being there like, kind of bullshit. Yeah, what's going on? Well, Corey said he can't come in because he can't find his boots. I told him to get his ass to work, and this dude showed up in bare feet.
Oh, my God.
At a construction site. He said, just go home.
How about this? A woman said she put Nair. She used Nair on her armpits. Yeah. Ended up with chemical burns and couldn't put her arms down. I've never used Nair. Ryder, have you ever used Nair?
A long, long time ago, and I could see how this would be a thing. Like, those chemical burns hurt. Yeah. But that's a dumb thing to do right before work.
Now, is Nair... Now, if you're using Nair, like on your legs, you don't use a razor, too. You just put it on and then wash it off, and it takes all the hair away? Yeah. Is that how that works?
Sort of. It's not... well, I haven't had that great of experience with it, so it doesn't take all the hair off, but it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound kind of. I mean, how hard is it to shave? Like, let's just put some die-hard chemicals all over our bodies and try to.
It won't quite take off all the hair anyway.
It's sexy time.
It's sexy time.
Wear short shorts.
This is a good one. I accidentally ate cat food instead of tuna, and now I'm sick. If you had a second bite, I'm not buying it.
What are you talking about? Sorry. There's cheese in there, real salmon, all sorts of good stuff in that cat food.
Yeah.
It's right on the can.
Someone called in and said they got locked inside their house.
Okay.
I'm using that one next time a buddy calls. I'm sorry, I'm locked in the house this weekend. Damn it, all to hell.
Tony, who's on the horn? 651-989 Rock.
Our buddy, who's Tony, driving a school bus.
Tony, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How we doing today?
We're great, brother. What do you got for us?
Well, I used to manage a DJ service doing weddings, and I actually had one of my DJ's mother call him in sick that he couldn't do his show that night because he got shot in the ass.
Okay.
Well, yeah. That's tough.
Best part was he showed up the next week to do his next show, dropped trout to prove it to everybody.
Oh, he actually got shot in the ass. What happened there? A lover's quarrel?
No, downtown Minneapolis on Hennepin Avenue. We'll just leave it at that.
There you go. The old stray bullet. Well, that's a legit excuse.
Wow.
Assuming it was straight. Straight.
Right, exactly.
You never know. Thanks for the call, Tony. We appreciate it. On the Facebook page, Doug wrote, I took Viagra and still can't get my pants on. It's been over 4 hours.
Call a doctor for crying out loud. You're supposed to take the Viagra and take your pants off. I understand.
Yeah.
If I read the directions right.
Let's see what else we got here. Someone posted they needed to know if there was a local chiropractor open on a Sunday so she could get checked out. Her neck hurt from sleeping on it wrong. If she didn't get it checked out, she wouldn't be able to go to work the next day. I had a major hernia. Didn't know it worked for nearly 6 months before going to the doctor. Neck ache. Come on, man. Hey, dude, just because you worked for, 6 months with a major hernia doesn't mean I'm supposed to ignore my sore neck. Come on.
All right. Here's Alistair. Oh, I like that. Alistair had a workmate that told our supervisor he had to go home because his wife was scared of the lightning and thunder. Are you sure it wasn't a dog?
I was going to say.
I had a lab that used to jump in the basement tub all the time.
Yeah, Lula goes in the bathtub.
Yeah. Right.
Here's a good one from Tim. Coworker's wife made him take the day off because she thought the world was supposed to end and she did not want to die alone. Oh. You can really only use that one once. Okay, I was wrong. No, it's Thursday. Thursday, the world's going to end. No, sorry, you're not gonna get away with that one twice. I don't think you should anyway. This is one I've seen this before. A woman wouldn't cancel her hair appointment to go to work. Her roots were showing, and that's all she said. I'll you fire me. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Honey, we've seen your roots.
Here's my favorite. I couldn't make it in. I was bowling the game of my life.
Fair, well, I mean.
But, how long does the game take? You'll just be a little late, maybe.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Have you ever just blatantly be... No way, right? No, you have not. Stop it.
The worst one, though, I just go with the old, I'm not feeling good today, man. I can't make it in. I really want to. But the worst one by far was I was working for Parks and Rec in Aberdeen, South Dakota one summer as like 19, and I was partying my ass off all the time. And I had used so many I can't make it in excuses that I decided to, use the nuclear deterrent and tell them that I had been arrested. That's how bad it was. Sure. I've been arrested and I can't make it into work. As soon as I pop out of here, I'll make it down there, not knowing that the foreman's brother was the town sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Who called. So when I did get to work later that day, I got fired. It's like, I was trying to help you. How embarrassing. I'm like, well, this is going to really work out for my hangover because I'm going to regret this later. But for right now, I just want to go back to bed.
Tone, worst one you ever came up with?
This is humiliating and it shows that I'm very mental. I chose to use this as an excuse that my mom had climbed up into our apple tree and to do some trimming and fell and broke her leg.
What?
Why I had to use my mom or a broken leg? I don't know. I don't know what came over me, and I got let go after that. Yeah.
What job was this?
It was with a newspaper.
Wow.
Doing ad layout, something that didn't need to continue doing anyway. But to this day, I'll look at myself in the mirror and shake my head and go, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Tony, I just saw your mom. Yeah, she's a fast healer.
Yeah, she is.
Did you guys have an apple tree even?
We had 2.
Oh, right.
Did you bring in apples to kind of complete the excuse? Did you bring apples for the office?
Show one that was bruised. Yeah, right. She was holding this in her hand at the time. My poor mother.
Ryder, what do you got?
I show up all the time. So anything beyond, I just don't feel so hot today. Like, I don't need to reach for those excuses. The worst one I ever heard when I was dispatching cable guys is, and this was true, but it still really pissed me off. But I called up a tech and I'm like, hey man, you got to get moving on this job. And he's like, can't do it. Gardener snake in by the cable box. It was underground once. And he's like, nope, I'm afraid of snakes. I'm like, well, come on, man, let's get going. It's time to move on and get to the next job. And he just stuck there the whole rest of the afternoon.
Oh God,
I was so pissed. Gardener snakes are no excuse.
It's countless. Just horrific employee at all turns. My favorite was for a job. I lost a job before I'd ever even turned up for day one. I got hired at a grocery store. This is 22, 23 years old. Went in and I had previously worked at a grocery store in the produce department, and I saw they were hiring. And the guy said, "Have you ever been in I said, "Yeah, I did produce a couple years ago." And he goes, "Oh, well, we need someone in produce. This is great. Can you start on Saturday?" And I said, "Yes, I certainly can." He said, "All right, 10 a.m." I was like, "Thank you, Lord. I needed this job."
Yeah.
This is not me just like, "Oh, I think I want to work at a store." I needed this job desperately. So I go in on a Thursday and I tell the guy, "I'll see you in 2 days." And I go home, and Friday night I have a great time, and Saturday morning at 10:15 the phone in my apartment rings and I'm dead asleep, but I'm like, "Hello?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, Steve Gorman, please." I'm like, "Yeah, speaking." He goes, "Steve, this is whoever over at Houchin's at the grocery store." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Oh. And he goes, "You're supposed to be here at 10. And I went, this is exactly what I went. Yeah, I broke my foot. That's what I said. Those words. I broke my foot.
There you go.
And then in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I better come up with how, because he's going to ask. And he didn't ask. He went, "Okay, thanks." He just hung up. Like, I guess that job's not going to work out then.
The first broken foot. You ever use that?
Wow.
I've had that call where it wakes you up and you're like, "Huh?" And you're like, "Brian, where are you?" "The power must have went out last night. My alarm clock's blinking right now. I don't know what happened. Power didn't go out last night."
No, of course not. I did feel like that was the low point. Being fired from a job I'd never been to. Was that was pretty rough. Like,
totally forgot.
Just a sign of things to come. No question about it. I was going to go see a friend's band on Friday night. And I did actually. I had a bad stomach thing happen on Friday afternoon, and I waved the white flag. I said, "Hey man, I'm not feeling like I can make it out." And I really did, but I felt guilty, and it reminded me of like I've called in sick. I've faked things, and I do it, but then I feel terrible about having done it. I really do. You just feel like a jerk. You're like, man, what? This is not lately, but in my life. But this was just 3 days ago. I called in. I called my buddy. I said, "I can't come see your band," and it was true. I was a mess, but then I'm guilty about it because I felt bad. So my previous crying wolf is catching up to me in my old age.
Right, exactly.
Of course, he's like, "Oh, sorry. I hope you feel better. Thanks." He didn't care.
Yeah. When you use so many excuses, your friends go, "Hey, man, you don't have to make it up excuse." I'm like, "No, this time it's true." "Oh, this time it is?" "No, by that I mean what Steve said."
I read something somewhere where a guy said, if you have you only need one reason to say no to anything. And the reason can certainly be, I just don't want to. It's like when somebody gives you like 3 or 4 reasons why something went sideways, they're just trying to convince themselves that it's okay. And I really do it really kind of changed my mindset, because I look back and I'm like, oh, I was always that guy going, well, because this happened, and then that probably means this is going to happen. And I would just like start justifying crap. And of course, 9 times out of 10, the person you're talking to is like, dude, shut up. I don't care. You're the only one who cares.
I don't even really care if you show up. I was inviting you just to be polite.
Yeah. When somebody tells me like I can't make it, I'm always like, I'm on to the next thing in 2 seconds. Like, okay, cool. I wonder what's going to happen in the game Sunday. Who cares? Not me.
And if we just don't want to, we think that's a bad thing. I always used to come up with excuses. Now I've advanced far enough where I'm like, no, I just don't want to. Nah.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, October the 14th. And that means we are closing in on Iron freaking Maiden, October 22nd at the XL Energy Center. Iron Maiden, we got tickets, and we would love to give them away. We need a couple of listeners to call in. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. We're going to take callers 9 and 2, and you will be able to play a game for Iron Maiden tickets. And whilst we are awaiting those callers, good morning, Minneapolis.
Minneapolis?
We're going straight to the belly of the beast, Minneapolis. We love to give out a little morning shout out to a lot of our friends and neighbors, and now we're saying hi to ourselves. We're all right here, smack dab in Minneapolis, and we're happy to be here. And to all of our friends throughout the Minneapolis area.
Rock and roll, I love it.
Boy, this is a heck of a good music town.
Yeah, it is a damn good music town, and they appreciate their music. And I guess I went out a little bit out of Minneapolis, out of the city limits for my music this weekend, but it's just in the area, Minnesota in general. But you talked about going down and seeing this band, this Kaiser's Orchestra, and hoping that there might be some people there. We're talking about a band that sings in Norwegian.
Yeah, first time ever in the States. Never been to America, never even thought about coming to America. They're only here for 5 shows, and they played last night, a Sunday night in Minneapolis at the High Line, and I walked in thinking, please I'm buddies with one of the guys in the band. I'm like, just be great if it's got to be at least 100 people, right? And it was packed wall to wall. It was great.
They know their music and they're willing to take a chance.
Yeah,
buy a ticket.
And that audience was having it. I mean, it was really, really something. And and they were talking about it from the stage, and I was sitting there myself going, man, this is such a great music town. And in the middle of the show, I was overcome with a humongous deja vu. Watching the band from the balcony, it's like I literally was like, "Oh my God, I've done this before." I had a dream where I was seeing this very thing. Deja vus are when I get them, they're pretty intense. I mean, it goes on for a while, and I'm like, "Oh man, this is wild," and it just added to the awesomeness of the night. Oddly enough.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it was really good. Kaiser's Orchestra, they're going to be back in town next year, and we're all going to go see them. Right now, we've got a couple people locked in and loaded to play a game. Iron Maiden tickets are on the table, and so is something else, Tony.
A couple of willing lads are here to play one of our finest. Toast! It's time again to beat the toaster. Here's what we do. There's a toaster right here in the studio. We're going to pop a slice of bread in there, then we give you a category that requires some thought, and you list and name spontaneously whatever pops into your little head, as many as possible, but you only have 15 seconds to do so before the toast pops. So let's toast it up.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's beat that toaster. Tony, who's contestant number 1?
First up is our good pal Brian from Spring Lake Park.
Brian, good morning.
Morning.
Brian, give me your favorite band.
The Beatles.
Give me your favorite team. Any sport. Favorite team.
Vikings.
All right. Undefeated Vikings. Let's do it, Brian. Good luck to you, sir.
Mighty Brian, your category here, we're going to name some things that are gooey and sticky. Go.
Paint when it's starting to dry. Super glue when it's starting to dry. Shellac. The inside of donuts when you get it all over your finger.
All right. Toast has popped.
Man, that'll work. Looks like 4 is what I got for Bri.
Good ones. He was very specific.
Yeah,
very specific.
Nougat jumped to mind.
That's all we were missing was some nougat. Nougat's usually the answer to most of life's problems. Brian, well played, sir. Sit tight. We're going to go on to contestant number 2 for their first effort. Who we got, Tony?
Our buddy Ben from Mendota Heights in his ride.
Ben, good morning.
Morning.
Ben, give me your favorite band.
My favorite band, I have to say Guns N' Roses.
Give me your favorite team. Any sport.
Any sport? Well, I'll go with the Wild.
Go with the Wild. I like it. Ben, it's time to play Beat the Toaster, round 1. Good luck, sir.
All right.
Benny boy, give us things with stripes. Go.
Things with stripes, I would say a zebra, an umbrella, and I would say a sweater.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
Oh, you could have kept going, Ben, but
Yeah.
He knows exactly how many he needs to win this game. Was the first one, did he say diva?
Zebra.
Oh, zebra. Gotcha.
Zebra.
That would make a lot more sense than diva.
What did we get? Did we get 3 there?
We got 3, yeah.
All right, Ben.
Sweater.
Well aware of his limitations. All right, let's go. That's a great start. 4 versus 3 after 1 round. We got ourselves a tight competition. Time for Brian and round 2. Are you ready to go, Bri?
Sure am.
Right on.
All right, Bri, list what could happen that may cause you to suffer a concussion. Go.
Oh, somebody hitting me with a baseball bat. Getting punched by Muhammad Ali. Getting punched by George Foreman. Getting punched by Rocky. Getting hit over the head by the girlfriend.
There goes the toast.
Yeah.
How about...
Toast is popped,
Bri.
Okay.
All right.
Someone hitting him in the head with a toaster.
Yeah, really.
A lot of punches.
What did we come up with there, Tony?
I got 4. Is that
Yeah,
what you got?
I had the same count, 4. Again, the specificity of Brian's responses, very impressive. So, Brian, you got a total of 8, my man. Well played. I do appreciate the both real and fictional boxers winding up in your list right there. All right, it's time to go back to Ben for round 2. Ben, you need 5. You need 5 answers to tie. 6 will get you the win. Good luck, sir.
All right.
All right, Ben, turn your radio down.
You got it.
And here's your chance to impress the kids in your car. Name some things that might be particularly difficult to do if you're missing an arm. Go.
Tying your shoe. Braiding my daughter's hair. Zipping up my pants. Let's see here. I would say...
Man, I thought you were going to have that one.
Yeah.
I thought about that, yeah.
By the way, tying shoe is the first one I thought of, too, for whatever reason.
Yeah, and if you've ever tried to zip up your pants while you're, if you peed outside and you've got a beer in your hand, it's difficult.
It's tough.
It's
hard,
tough.
yeah, right.
I have other techniques for that. So.
What a talent.
You do. Ben, I'm sorry you came up a little bit short, but man, it was a solid effort. Thank you for playing, sir. Brian, you have won tickets to see Iron Maiden next week.
All right.
Congratulations, brother. We appreciate you playing.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it. Man, strong game right there.
Yeah, it was.
I really thought Ben was going to come in strong with a couple more.
He was nailing them. He had quality answers, but not the quantity.
Yeah, it's all about bulk on Beat the Toaster. You can find the KQ Morning Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts, anytime you want. Sponsored by our good friends at Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
It does sounds real good to me. Iron Maiden might be taking that one in. It's again going to be a game time decision, like most of my evening decisions.
What night of the week is that?
It's a Tuesday. I've been waiting a freaking year for this show. I'm going.
I remember when they announced this show like it was a year ago. We were laughing like we were on this show going, what are you already announcing the dip? What the hell? And now it's already here. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. I guess that kind of checks out. That makes sense.
Can't wait to hear all about it.
Man. Not even a chance.
I mean, I've seen Iron Maiden a couple of times. I've been lucky in that sense. And on a Tuesday night, I'll tell you I'm going.
Sure you will.
Probably not.
I wonder what their streaming numbers are up to, Iron Maiden. I wonder how much money they're making on all the streamers, Spotify and whatnot. And I say that because, we've got a Spotify controversy. AI songs, bot army equals millions of dollars. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Led Zeppelin, always a pretty good antidote for whatever ails you.
Yeah, some good Monday morning
that'll
music
perk
therapy.
you right up.
Yeah.
That'll perk you right up. Led Zeppelin, many songs from Led Zeppelin online stream millions of times a day. Spotify, the best rate you're going to get for a Spotify stream is about 0.005 cents per stream, like less than a penny per stream, half a cent. Well, basically, if you put a song on Spotify and it streams 1 million times, you'll make about $5,000.
Okay.
So 1 million people play your song, you'll get about $5,000, I think is what that comes out to. Or you could do what Michael Smith did. Who is he? He's a dude from Cornelius, North Carolina. He used AI, at least he's being accused of having used AI to automatically generate hundreds of thousands of songs. Okay. And then he put them on streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. So he got AI to generate hundreds of thousands of songs, put them all into the streaming services, and then used an army of bots to stream the songs over and over and over and over. How many streams? Enough for him to make over $10 million in royalties.
Boy, he was working it. And this is illegal?
Apparently so. Okay. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York has indicted him for a brazen fraud scheme. He's being charged with wire fraud conspiracy, wire fraud, and a money laundering conspiracy. But okay, if the fact that this is possible, this man has no musical talent whatsoever. No. What does it say about the world when this can even happen? Back in my day, you couldn't just you'd have to go press a record in your own basement. It probably wouldn't have good sound quality. Right. And you'd have to actually put real music on it to get someone to think you were making real music. This guy's been doing this stuff since 2018. An enormous catalog of tunes. He had fake accounts to spread the music around. And then he was listening. He had a network of bots streaming 661,000 streams per day.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's clever, smart, a little greedy, I think.
The streaming services say they have fraud detection systems in place, but he was always a step ahead, at least for a few years.
Yeah.
Created randomized song and artist names that were convincing enough. Like he had band names like Calm Identity, Zygotic Washstands, and many thousands of others.
I just bought their greatest hits.
Man,
is this where hip hop came from? Is that why you hear so much of that on Spotify?
So somebody kind of got caught onto him last year. They looked into the billions of streams associated from one source. He's saying I did nothing wrong. He's looking at 20 years in prison for each of the 3 charges. We'll have to see, but I'm kind of curious to hear what this guy's music sounds like.
Yeah, right. I mean,
it's AI music anyway. But you know what? You're gaming the system, but the system is gaming musicians, so I could care less about Spotify and Amazon Music. Oh, someone took advantage of the fact that you're exploiting music. You can't exploit musicians. We exploit musicians. You can't exploit the guy who exploits musicians. That's our job, to exploit musicians.
They paid out tens of millions of dollars, Steve, that they withheld from artists.
That's exactly right.
If only the artists were smart enough to figure it out, but they're too busy being artists and actually producing real music.
Man, $10 million though? Like, yeah, dude, if you figure that system out and you get it up and running and you've brought in, let's just say $4 million. You got to know, like, I should probably pull a plug on all this.
Right. Yeah, I just got too greedy. Just
take the money and run, dude.
God, maybe they ought to hire him. You know, they do that when they catch those fraudsters and then they hire them and give them a big salary.
They're your new hacking expert?
Yeah, they're new hacking expert. Right, exactly.
The next thing AI is going to do to ruin all of our lives is the electronics brand Casio has a new AI pet they're releasing. It's called Mufflin. Mufflin. It looks like a guinea pig, but it doesn't have legs. It's got eyes, but no limbs. I mean, like, literally, what is it's just a shmoo.
Yeah.
They are kind of cute, but it's not meant to be a toy. It's being marketed as a, quote, mental health companion that's meant to comfort you or your kid or whoever has this mufflin.
Right. The kid's feeling bad, just toss the mufflin in there.
Didn't we see this movie? What was it called? The little doll, the girl's name, the movie that came out a couple years ago. Not Annabelle. It was
Megan.
Megan.
Oh,
Yes, completely creepy. This Mifflin, however, the mental health companion, AI helps it to develop its own, quote, stimulated personality depending on how you interact with it. And over time, it learns to recognize you just like a real pet does.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like we're AI's pets at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. What does okay, pure ignorance here. Guinea pigs. What's the what happens? They you don't let them out. You don't let them roll around your house, right? They're always like in a cage.
In a cage.
Or in the glass tube or in the habit trail that you set up to remember the habit trail, the hamster tracks around your house. So hamsters, guinea pigs, and gerbils, I don't know the difference, but you don't really do much with them, right? You just watch them run in a circle.
You can hold them.
Yeah.
Well, not the
Which
one,
is great fun.
Yeah, we got a guinea pig. That's the one Sydney wanted, that little spotted one. And I remember when the gal reached in, it got a little chippy, so she had to put on a glove. And I'm like, are you sure that's the one you want? But no, that's the one I want. And we had it for an hour. And it bit her, and then we took it back and got a fish. That fish never bit her. Hung in there for a good month or two. And, yeah.
Well, Mifflin doesn't run, jump, or move around. In fact, it just sort of squirms.
Just sits there and records everything your child does.
It's just more like a snuggling thing. You're just going to snuggle it. These things have been around for a couple years. The betas were first introduced in Vegas in 2021, but now they're coming on fully in time for the holidays. About $400, $400 each.
Yeah.
What's a hamster cost? Like 38 cents, right? You
Something like that.
Go to PetSmart and just get a bunch of little weird mammals for dollars.
Right.
Yeah, this is nuts.
You're not going to step on it in the middle of the night. Well, probably not. The hamster.
Yeah, not thrilled about AI pets. The music's bad enough. Although, again, the guy who scamming Spotify, I'm all for it. I mean, just get every dollar you can from those scrubs.
Yeah, no good doubt.
Another great AI development. This is actually a really great one. They have new glasses. Ray-Ban Meta. Meta is that's Facebook now, right? It's called Meta.
Yeah.
So they're working with Ray-Ban. They have smart glasses. Smart glasses are not for the average. Not for you to walk around and have them. It's the greatest application is for people who are blind or have very limited vision. Mm-hmm. They can put on glasses that basically explain to them what's going on. The glasses can speak to you. Example: you put on this pair of glasses, and you could be at, say, a bookstore, and you say, "Hey, what section am I looking at?" And then the glasses will say, "This is fiction." You hold up something to the glasses, it reads it for you.
Yeah, this is Sadie, blind young lady, talking about the glasses.
I'm blind, and I've been using these Ray-Ban Meta glasses for about 6 months now, and I love them. Not only can I take phone calls and use them to listen to voiceover discreetly while out in public, you can use the glasses to ask Meta AI about almost anything that it sees, and you can get pretty specific with the questions, too. Hey, Meta, look. What section of the store is this?
This is the dog treats section.
What kind of treats are these?
The package says Red Barn Protein Puffs training treats.
These glasses...
All right, well, anyway, we cut her off there. You get the idea. Well, I mean, that's how it's being rolled out. It's an aid for people with, vision problems that are just plain blind, I guess. But, eventually this is where we're all going. We're going to get rid of these phones, and we'll just have the glasses. We'll just be walking around with our smart glasses.
Everything starts off, sounds great, and then AI is just going to ruin everything. It's going to make it interesting and convenient for a little while. Yeah. And then before you know it, we're going to be asking our glasses, what is this little thing? It's an AI pet. Why is it eating me? Because we want it to. And then we're all going to be dead. That's where it's all headed.
Yeah, let's just crawl into the little pods of goo. Let it define our reality for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. By the time you can do, I mean, this is like, what was the pet rock thing? It was like we were kids. Suddenly there was pet rocks,
right?
Which was or chia pet. There have been things like this, but the joke was sort of like it doesn't do anything, right. and it certainly doesn't learn how to interact with you.
It's not going to be a true companion.
No, it's just
sort of
there.
alert. Yeah.
It's just shtick. It's like I always loved, I thought it was the coolest thing the first time I saw the leash that looked like but there's no dog.
Oh, yeah, you'll see that at the
used to
state
love
fair.
that, or Andy Kaufman or something. Yeah. When I was a kid, I was like, now see, that's good stuff right there.
Hey.
That's good stuff. I don't need an AI leash. Just give me a leash without a dog in it. That would be fine.
It's right up there with the quarter glued to the sidewalk.
The best.
That's just good fun.
Some of the best days of my life, watching kids in front of the Coke machine at the pool trying to get that quarter off. Oh yeah, man! I was like, you watch a teenager crazy glue a quarter, and you're just thinking, A, I can't believe he's rich enough to waste a quarter, and then B, like, I can't believe how many kids are just going to try to. I mean, they're all but bringing in crowbars and chipping up the cement to get that damn coin off the ground. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm actually pretty. What's the word? Agnostic about AI. I mean, whatever. It's there's already been tons of things I thought were the beginning of the end of humanity.
Right.
I mean, hell, just the internet itself. It was Y2K came and went. There's always something.
Just defines a new reality.
It just. But the one thing I do appreciate is every time you see something like this. You do then. There's always like a bit of a backlash, if you will.
Yeah.
I saw a story the other day about music and guitarists and a group of older rock guys. Joe Perry, chiefly among them, was saying there's never going to be another Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
We've done it. The guitars are done. And then you get online and you look, and it's like, well, no, there's a ton. There's always another Eddie Van Halen out there. Now you just got to find him. There's always great young people responding to this by going, I'm just going to go plug in a guitar. I can't take it.
You jump on YouTube and there's about 1,000 kids out there that are 12 now that can just rip.
Yeah.
On that guitar. So, yeah, they're out there. It's just, it's not singular anymore. It's not just this unicorn thing that's happening. It's, exceptionalism is becoming common. Does that make sense?
I guess that. Well, but then it's not exceptionalism.
No, it's
if
not.
It's common.
You got you there.
The streaming things continuing
AI
with streaming numbers that are kind of mind blowing, like the Spotify thing. This guy with AI makes $10 million fake music, but YouTube, which is another streaming platform, and you have a million accounts with subscribers, and I see things all the time on YouTube, and I'll look and I'll be like, this guy's got 100,000 followers, and there's advertisements in there, and I think to myself, like, what? How does that even work? How do you make a living posting content? Well, it's like this. There is an account on YouTube, Mr. Beast. I just heard about Mr. Beast for the first time, like 3 months ago, and it was because one of the people at Mr. Beast, there was some sort of controversy. It was like a woman, part of the staff. There was a grooming accusation, and then she said, "I'm going to step away from Mr. Beast for a while." Mr. Beast is just a content creator. 317 million subscribers.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
And last year generated $82 million.
I got it's probably.
What does Mr. Beast do, Tony? You seem to know what this is.
Various odd stunts and activity. It gives a lot to charity.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yes.
I mean, doing the matinee.
However many million you should be given to charity.
Now, Dude Perfect is another one I am familiar with. I've been seeing Dude Perfect videos for well over 10 years. It's like 4 or 5 buddies that went to college together, and they just make really funny videos where they're trying to do trick shots, or, they just do a video about, like, here's the 5 worst guys to play pickup basketball with. There's always, like, a sports angle to it. 60 million subscribers. They brought in $50 million last year. Good for them, because they seem like nice guys. And they got their own documentary, like, on ESPN now, Dude Perfect. So basically, this is where I'm bringing all this, guys. We need to get a YouTube channel, and we need like a couple 100 million subscribers. How do we do it?
AI.
Okay. Good answer.
Can you round us up a couple of 100 million subscribers, please?
That works for me. Let's get on it.
Sometimes they get a hold of you. I had a buddy that is a snowplow driver out in Montana. And he sings. He likes to go down to the coffee shop and sing every once in a while. And he wrote a parody song, Tony, about using Wichita linemen. And he went with the snowplow driver, on the side of the road or whatever. Get out of my way, that kind of thing. I don't have it here in front of me. And it all started to rack up and he got up to like 5,000 hits on YouTube, and then YouTube got a hold of him said, hey, we see you're up to $5,000. We'd like to buy your video from you. We'll give you pennies on it, and then we'll promote it. And then it went up to like $300,000. Really? And he ended up making about $8,000 off of it. Yeah.
Wow.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's
good.
Yeah, for a snowplow driver, it's a nice little side hustle.
As long as you're already doing it, might as well cash it in a little bit.
Yeah, then he tried to follow it up with 2 or 3 after that. No one was interested. But
fair enough.
If you can match, you got to come up with the content. It's the content creator. That's the thing, creating the content.
If you still just want to rock, if you're thinking like, okay, sounds great, but let me just get back to the rock, then I've got some good news for you. Motley Crue just announced a brand new Las Vegas residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM next spring. The Crew with a residency in Las Vegas, and we want to send you. One winner will score a trip for 2 to Vegas. That includes round trip air, a 2-night stay at Park MGM, and 2 tickets to Motley Crue, the Las Vegas residency. 10 runner-up winners will get Motley Crue's new EP, Canceled, on vinyl, plus the Dr. Feelgood 35th Anniversary Limited Edition box set. What do you have to do? Text the national keyword Vegas to 95819 for a chance to win. Do it right now. The top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. It is October the 14th. That was Toto. Oh, hold the line. Love isn't always on time. Toto, take a lot of shots. People kind of poke fun at him, but for my money, just a great band, and as great a drummer, Jeff Porcaro, as there ever was in rock music.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
Top shelf, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Lots of sing-along tunes.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
I've been known to hum along to Africa even every once in a while.
Hey, man, if you ever go see Ringo Starr and his all-star band, guitarist Steve Lukather from Toto is in that band. Steve Lukather's also one of those session guys. He's like, oh, yeah, I played on all those Michael Jackson records, et cetera, et cetera. He's just an L.A. legend.
Yeah.
You go see the Ringo band, and then he'll step up and he'll rip into a Toto song, and then you do find yourself going, oh, this is actually great. Like, no one ever wants to say they love Toto, and then you listen to the song, and you're like, yeah, it's pretty rocking.
I draw the line at Rosanna.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. Well, it's got the pretty shuffle drum groove, and Rosanna is just... May 8th, 1982. It's the first time I ever heard that song. I was on Highway 68. Yeah. I was driving. I could take you to literally the bend in the road when that song came on the radio, and I was like, "What is that?" And it was the groove. I was like, oh, "This is kind of cool. I like this." And then I met a girl that same day, and I had that song in the back of my head, and it was like my soundtrack to the. I think this is my true life partner. I was in 11th grade. It didn't really work out that way, but that song, it was just bang, smacked in my head.
They do transport you, don't they? Those tunes.
No, absolutely does when it hits you just right. Let's get into it. The top 5 at 9. This is what you need to get your day started. Bad news for the Minnesota Wild. And not the fact that they have lost their last 2 games, both in overtime, for a 1-0-2 record, as they say. 2025 NHL, the EA Sports NHL 25 video game, that is, they fired up their simulations and concluded the Minnesota Wild will not be winning a Stanley Cup this year.
Wow.
Sorry.
Could have saved them the time.
Not only will they not win a Stanley Cup, according to the EA simulations, they won't even make the postseason. Damn.
Well, hell, I mean...
somebody who loves hockey but can't afford to stream 18 million games, I'm so glad that EA did this for me. So it just saves me so much time and money and energy.
And
heartache and disappointment.
I mean, we're pretty much there already. We've got some big injuries already. Yeah, Spurgeon and
it's good. Let these guys heal up. There's no pressure, fellas. Take a load off. One weekend into the season, and we like a MASH unit over there in St. Paul.
No kidding.
By the way, in case you're wondering, EA Sports has decided the New York Rangers will beat the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games.
All right.
If that happens, then AI is getting too far down the road. If they literally predict who's gonna, if the playoff bracket is even close to being accurate come April, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah. Well, so far so good for you then, because I think the Oilers are 0-3. I know we got a long way to go. And I think the Rangers have sort of stumbled out of the 8. Again, we're just getting started, though.
Number 4 in your top 5 at 9. A study, a social science type of study out of BYU talking about how to give bad news. And the word on the street is this. If you have to share bad news with somebody, be it that you're firing them, that you're breaking up with them, that there's been a loss, anything, get to the damn point. People receive it better. It's better for everyone if you don't try to soften it, if you don't try to couch your words. Let the person know, I've got to share some tough news with you, and then just out with it. Yeah. 9 people out of 10 say that's what they prefer. Now, in my experience, I've had some situations where you try to give someone bad news and they actually don't want to hear it. They just go into total denial mode.
I'm not listening.
For me, if you're going to bring me bad news, I would appreciate it if you just say, hey, here it comes, and lay it on me. I always tell people, like, just out with it. Don't sugarcoat it. Let's have it. But then me, I'm a sugarcoater. Yeah. I hate it. I hate it when I hear myself doing it. But sometimes that's a my mom thing. It's like, honey, you always have to be kind. You got to be nice to people. You got to put yourself in their shoes. And I'm like, yeah, well, in my shoes, I don't want sugarcoating. But then here I am. I sugarcoat bad news all the time, and it makes me crazy.
They don't seem to respond any better, but it does get the situation over. I don't know if it does or it doesn't.
Dear baby,
there it is.
Welcome to Dumpville. Population, you.
Sometimes it's just you just need a good line. That's what I do. I try to get into a lengthy explanation, and then when it's all over, oh, so you love me? Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. Never mind. You just got to have a good line. Just that, even if it's insensitive, you take the L out of lover over.
And use a
something
puppet.
Like that.
Use a puppet and makes it more gentle.
Yeah.
Puppets. Study found that beating around the bush anymore, that it makes it easier on you, but not the person you're sharing the bad news with. If you drag it out, then you're actually kind of being selfish. So yeah, guilty as charged. That's a good way to remember it. Like, don't be selfish. Yeah. Just crush their soul quickly.
Yeah. Sit there and watch what you've done.
And then you watch the person crawl away in misery. Oh, speaking of which, number 3 on your top 5 at 9, crawling is the new, wait for it, fitness craze.
Oh, boy.
We're getting there. Closer. Or me on a Saturday night trying to get to the bathroom.
Jogging is so passé. Walking, please. No, crawling, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting down on all fours and crawling around the house. This is a trend. Fitness experts say even a few minutes a day can help you build strength and get healthier. And for the record, yeah. When's the last time you actually crawled? It's not like riding a bicycle. You start crawling at a certain age and you're like, wait, is this how did I forget how to crawl?
On my floors? No way.
And it is a little bit of a workout. If you keep your head up, if you keep straight ahead and both arms and legs are moving, like it'll elevate that heart real fast. It's a better workout than you might think.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I mean, it beats treading water. Did you guys have the swimming test when you were a kid to go into the deep end of the pool where you had to, mine was, there was like, you had to swim a lap or two, but then you also had to tread water for 2 straight minutes.
Yeah.
That 2 minutes when you're 7, I mean, that's longer than the rest of the summer.
Yeah. That nice warm pool they never put you in.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, I guess, so what, is there a chance I'm going to be all alone at the pool for more than 2 minutes? 9,000 people here every day. I don't think this is really going to happen.
Right.
Number 2 on your top 5 at 9, the Minnesota Lynx lost Game 2 of the WNBA Finals to the New York Liberty yesterday. That series is now tied at 1 apiece. Game 3 Wednesday at the Target Center. Yesterday kind of looked like it was going to be a repeat maybe of Game 1. The Liberty with a big lead early, and then late in the game, the Lynx, a 17-point lead, cuts down to 2 late in the game. It's going back and forth, but New York pulled away. But you want to good series. You don't want to come home with a chance to close out the series in Game 3. Actually, they probably really wish they could have.
But is that on Wednesday? Boy, it seems like they put a lot of days between the games.
Well,
don't they?
and it, more than anything, for just to try to get an audience, you can't. It's not a good idea. I mean, yesterday they played. That's kind of a surprise with football being front and center. But you've got other sports, you've got other events, and they play a shorter season than the NBA. And when you get to the playoffs, they're just doing everything to maximize eyeballs on the games.
I just thought they needed more rest between games. No, I didn't say that. Come on, I'm having a little fun this morning.
Number 1 on your top 5 at 9 is going to wait, because I want to say what's happening, Excelsior, Minnesota. Excelsior, good morning. You know what to do if you're an Excelsior.
Yeah, find a patio, have a cocktail, enjoy the view.
Man, that's good living out there.
Yeah, it is.
Spend a little time in Excelsior. Kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty astounding neck of the woods.
Lots to enjoy. Good foodie places over there as well.
Yeah, it's excellent. Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. In England, a high court has ruled that using the word bald against a man in a demeaning way could be and should be considered sexual harassment.
All right.
Follow this. In 2019, an electrician named Tony Finn said he'd been sexually harassed by his boss during an argument. What did the boss say? He called him a stupid, bald C word. And it was the use of the word bald that he really took exception to.
Really?
Let me tell you something. If you're bald and someone says you're a bald whatever, sorry. It's a statement of fact. There's no hair on your head. Yeah. There's a word for that. It's bald.
Yeah, right. That's the word we use. I don't know what else there is.
How is that sexual harassment? Well, because they said the panel, this 3-person employment tribunal high court panel, said the remark crossed the line, and they said yes, women can be bald too, but in this case, no, there's a connection between the word bald and the protected characteristic of sex. It's much more prevalent in men than women. Therefore, it is inherently sexist in nature to use bald as a bit of a slur, if you will. This whole thing to me is just, gosh, English people are funny no matter what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy probably really was upset, but it's like, I mean, couldn't believe you called me bald, man. It should hurt my feelings. Yeah. Well, no, I think not having hair hurt your feelings, dude. Yeah. And I mean, come on, didn't bother Telly Savalas.
No, man. Baby.
Still my go-to bald guy.
Bald men.
All these years later.
Bald men do it better.
By the way, the company where he worked as an electrician for 24 years before being fired in 2021, by the way, fired in 21, went back to an argument from 19 to pick up a lawsuit to file. The company's called the British Bung Company. B-U-N-G. The British Bung Company.
A bald bung?
Now, I know this. In British, a bung is a stopper for closing a hole in a container. You know, that's the word, the actual use of the word bung. But to me, bung is also, well, in British slang, it's to beat or bruise. You can say, oh, you bunged him up. But then we all know that United States President Lyndon Baines Johnson often referred to his bung hole.
Yes,
and he was not talking about a cork stoppage device. No, he was talking about his 6. So if you're working for the British Bung Company, there could be a lot worse things. The words are getting thrown around that are a lot worse than bald. That's all I'm saying.
Don't worry about your bald ass head.
Being the kind of guy I am, and that is to say a guy with just a luxurious head of hair. I mean, my God, it's really striking. I don't imagine I would mind at all having no hair, because I've shaved my head on several occasions. Yeah. I love it.
So have I.
I like no hair. I like a lot of hair. I like both conditions.
Yeah, and the bald thing really isn't a thing. A lot of guys just go bald, just choose to be bald. That's the thing. If you got the head for it, you can rock it.
It worked for Michael Jordan.
Right.
That's another bald guy. All right, I got 2. I got Kojak and MJ. That's it. That's all I need. My bases are covered. I mean, how smart are we? Are we smarter than the average person, generally speaking? 5 things that indicate above average intelligence. Let's start with you, Tony Lee. Mm-hmm. You're a first child, are you?
No, I am not.
Oh.
I have an older sis.
Sorry, bud. Study in 2017 looking at 250,000 people found the oldest child in a family has an IQ about 2 points higher than their siblings.
I don't get it.
Probably because firstborn kids get more attention from their parents.
That's right. We're the favorites. We're
you?
number one, numero and numero.
It's ridiculous. Ryder, where are you?
I am the baby of the family, the youngest one. So.
Whatever, dummy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Now, it says firstborn are 2 points higher. I wonder with every successive kid if you drop 2 points. If so, I'm in trouble.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm number 8.
Well, either that or...
I'm the 8th kid. If my oldest brother, Bob, if he's 16 points higher than me, I'm going to be pissed.
You mean Bob the Genius?
Yeah, he is. He was. He's the Eagle Scout. He's the good student. He's just like when you'd play pickup basketball, he'd play really good fundamental defense.
Yeah.
He's just an annoying guy.
No, but he has a dark side.
He's yet to show it to me. He's just I'm going to do everything right and work hard.
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of douchebag are you? So annoying.
For us smart firstborn, though, it's like tears of a clown. On the inside, we're hurting.
Is that how that works?
For our dumb siblings.
Oh, man.
We're so dumb.
Here's another one. This is, again, an indicator that you're smarter than the average person. You're a night owl. This is bad for all of us.
I want to be.
I'm dying to be, yeah. I was for a long time.
Yeah, used to be.
People who stay up late tend to have higher IQs, and oddly enough, they make more money than early risers, which is surprising.
Oh, man. Mr. Ryder is going to take that one and just rub it in my face for like the next 6 to 8 months. Love staying up late and, bringing home the big paycheck. So.
He's not up yet, is he?
No, I don't think so.
All right, I think you're safe.
Okay.
I won't tell him if you don't.
Okay.
Tony, night owl. When you strike me as by nature as a younger man, a night owl.
Used to be before I got strapped mentally.
Yeah,
prisoner of the hours.
Here's another one. Maybe you think this is counterintuitive, but this is a sign that you're smarter than the average person. You lack common sense.
Wow.
Sometimes smart people overthink things when they'd be better off going with their gut. Thinking things through is usually good, but if you make a bad decision, you can look like an idiot for not making the obvious choice. I can look back on a long list, a litany of like, what the hell was I thinking moments. They still happen all the time. If lacking a certain amount of common sense means you're smart, I'm Einstein right here. I'm here to tell you.
Definitely an overthinker. Never seems to work in my...
Really good news. Number 4, again, signs that you're smarter than the average person. You've done drugs before.
All right, I'm going to confess. I did write this list.
Okay, you did.
It's a bunch of BS.
Now, doing drugs doesn't make you smarter, but people with higher IQs are more likely to try them.
Expand your mind.
And then, sadly, more likely to abuse them as well. So what you're telling me is, like, there's not a lot of dumb junkies out there.
No.
Okay.
And lacking the common sense. I'll do it. I'll try it.
Yeah,
sure, why not? This sounds like something a smart person tried to write to make them sound smart.
Yeah. Well, we did. I mean, if you spend some time in your 20s thinking, like, what does it all really mean? Then yeah, sure. And if you didn't, then you probably didn't think that this. Then someone probably didn't say, here, smoke this. It'll help.
Right.
And then number 5 on this list, you have a sick, twisted sense of humor. Damn straight. A study earlier this year, people who like dark humor involving things like illness and death score higher on IQ tests. That checks out.
Well, finally, one that I don't qualify for. Finally. Dodge that one.
I mean, I don't know. I think this all indicates that we are all we're just smart as hell. This is great. This is really good.
I like this story a lot. I'm going to print this one out. I might carry it around with me.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to come up every morning. Zepp will walk in and see, hey, did you see all these smart people indicators that I've got right here?
Yeah, next time you guys go, oh, that was too far. I'll go, that's all right. That's the burden of being smart.
I tell you what, that whole thing about the firstborn kids getting more attention from their parents, I'm just going to add that to the list of grievances with the Gorman family. I mean, when you're the 8th kid, I mean, I tell people this all the time and they think I'm lying. When I was still baby teeth, I went to the dentist once and I had 16 cavities. 16. At one time. At one time, 16. And it's like, but I get it. 8th kid, my mom's like, did you brush your teeth? Yep. Okay. She didn't check.
Right.
She just took, well, your brothers, your sisters, they take care of Steven. Someone help him figure this out. No one did a thing.
I can't even imagine it. I had 2, and exponentially just from Taylor to Sydney. Taylor was so involved. I didn't take naps. Everything we did was communicative. By the time Sydney came along 3 years later, it was like, all right, we have a DVR, and then you put Fox and the Hound in, and when it's over, it rewinds itself and starts over again.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing a long game of Don't Wake Daddy.
I think that they should do, what would really be beneficial is when you bring your firstborn kid home, they should also give you like someone else's toddler. So there's no first kid. Like you should just, because you can't help it. How we gave Connell so much more attention than Marley ever got, because when Marley got there was here's a baby and here's a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
The baby will just sit there, can't do anything about it. The 2-year-old would get up and run away and scream and demand attention. It's like, man, it's so unfair. And now I'm just thinking about it, like, man, 6, 7, 8. Like, I got screwed, man. It's terrible. This explains it.
You're smart enough to know that anyway.
I guess that's true. There's always an upside to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, do you just think back to the things but on the same token though, Marley was less. Our son was probably a little more neurotic, just because he did have so much attention paid to him.
Yeah.
We were so much calmer the second time around. I can only imagine by the time you have 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, the idea of bringing another baby home really is just like, it's like getting an extra loaf of bread. Like, yeah, just put it in the cart, bring it home. We'll just put it in the freezer. We'll just put it in the freezer until we need it. You got another baby? Yeah, well, here, just put him over there. We'll just get in line.
Shelf this one.
Man, that's crazy. I remember when Connell was born, I didn't want to leave the hospital for I couldn't believe they were. He was born on Monday, and we get up Wednesday, and it was Monday night, so we stayed over, and then Wednesday morning they're like getting ready to check us out, and I'm like, we can't leave the hospital with a baby. It's a human baby. What are you, crazy?
Do you know what we're up to just a year ago?
Yeah, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, Marley's like 1 hour old. I'm like, can we go? I got this. Come on.
Can we just do this at home? The game's on tonight.
No one's ready to be a parent till that second kid comes. Sorry, oldest born. See, all this is me trying to get you to feel bad about being the firstborn.
Not going to happen because I already know. It's like when Mom says, I love Chris and Angie just as much as you. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Keep telling yourself that, Mom. No one's buying it.
Oh, the salad days.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.